Hi everybody, it's Ryan Kavanaugh from Atlas Therapy. I just wanted to take a minute to show you guys how to set up your band kits at home so that anyone who wants to work out at home and is stuck there right now with everything going on, with winter coming, you're able to do so. So I'm just going to take a minute and go through both of the kits that we have. We currently are selling these two DuraBand kits. You can also use TheraBands too as well. We'll talk about that a little bit. One DuraBand kit's easier, the orange and red. The one's a little bit harder. Your therapist should have already gone over this a little bit, and you should kind of have an idea of that. But we will show you what's in the kits here. So if you're getting a red and orange kit, the red band's pretty easy. It's the easiest band. The orange band is a little bit harder than that. So it's red and then orange as far as easy, hard. The next kit has green and blue in it. The green one's easier, blue one's a little bit harder. This is harder than orange, and this is the hardest band, or the most difficult band, the one that's the tightest. Also included with the kit, you have a nice little Velcro strap, just to show everybody how this works to hook it up. You want to take the D-ring part, you want to slide the strap through the ring, and then you Velcro it. When you do it like that, it'll work nice and stay nice and tight and won't pull off for you. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. And then each kit also has two handles, also with D-rings for attachments. So I'm just going to show you some strategies for how to hook these up and some simple exercises that you can do using your doorway at home. I'm just going to grab the orange band, show you some things first. So I'm going to take my clips, clip in my rings, got both handles, alright, and then I have my door here. Just going to open my door a little bit. On the other side of the door, your doorknob, whether you have a round knob or a handle like this, doesn't matter. What you want to do is take your band and wrap that around your doorknob so you have two tails. And what I'm going to do is carefully shut this. Now you want to be careful that you don't tear your band. You're going to carefully shut this so that the band here comes through. Make sure your door is shut. If you need to, lock it so somebody doesn't accidentally open it while you're working. And now I have two tails or two handles, two pieces of band. If you're using a TheraBand and you don't have the handle, the DuraBand kit, that's fine too. You do the same thing. You just wrap the piece of band around the doorknob. Sometimes with the TheraBand you might have to double wrap the doorknob. What I mean by that is you might have to wrap it twice around. If this is a round doorknob so that it stays, and you do the same thing. So what you're doing here then, we got our two tails. One of the activities you can do with this is a row. So I'm just going to pull both pieces of band towards my chest, keeping my shoulder blades down and back. Just pinching my shoulder blades together in the back, up nice and tall. Just row into your chest. So you can do a row in this position. You can also do like a pull down. So I'm going to keep my arms straight. I just pull my arms down towards my sides. Don't worry if you can't get the whole way straight, that's okay. If you just come down, you know, go within a range that's comfortable for you that doesn't strain anything. So pull downs and rows you can do, okay? Another strategy, you can just use one at a time too. In this case, with the band I'm using right now, it's sticking pretty well, it's not sliding. If it was sliding, I'll show you what you can do to set up. But from this position, you can do all kinds of stuff. There's the famous shoulder exercise, the external and internal rotation. So external rotation, my elbow is bent at 90 degrees, and I just rotate my shoulder out a little bit. Internal rotation, I switch sides. Elbow still at 90 degrees here against my side, and I just pull in towards me. Internal rotation. You can do things too with both hands, like you can do some core activity, like some twisting. Arms out is harder, arms near your chest is easier. You can do some twisting. You want to make sure you do both sides with all of these. Twisting. And same with internal external rotation. I have my left arm here, rotate in for inward for internal. And then I switch again and I go external and go out. Now if you're having trouble with one band in this position, what you can try to do, if you have a TheraBand, these are DuraBands. If you have a TheraBand, you would just tie a knot on the one side of the band so you have a loop. I take this loop and I loop that around my doorknob. Okay, I got my loop, shut my door, same thing. Now I have one piece of band or one DuraBand sticking out. Okay, so that's a good way to set that up. So those are some things that you can do sort of in that middle position. Let's do some things for overhead or over top of the door. If you have a TheraBand, you can just tie a couple knots on the end of it, or you might have your loop still. If you still have your loop with a knot in it, you take that knot or that loop and you can throw that over top of the door. And then so what happens is when you go to shut the door, this loop will get stuck in the doorway. And then you end up with one piece of band. I always give it a tug, make sure it's not going to pull through. If you have the DuraBand kit, like we do, take your handle, your D-ring, reattach it. You put your handle over top of the door. So now I got my piece of handle here. I'm going to shut the door. The handle will keep what's nice with the DuraBands is that handle now is going to keep that band from pulling through. And I got a nice little clip I can clip onto it. So let's say too you have you're doing different activities. Maybe you're using the red band for something and the orange band. You can just clip both of them in at the same time, and then you can easily switch between each band, whichever you're using. Same with green and blue. You could have multiple hanging here, so that's kind of nice. It's convenient. Alright, so a couple things we can do. There's a lot of things you can do when the bands are overhead like this. Anything that's pulling down you can do. When you go to the gym and you see those bars, the lat pull down bar, where you're pulling towards your chest, you can do that with these. So whether it's the TheraBand or the DuraBand, like this, I'm going to take my DuraBand here, I'm going to shorten it a little bit so I don't have to stand so far away to show everybody. You can just do one arm at a time. Shorten it some more. One arm at a time, just pulling down towards your chest. Okay, you go sideways a little bit so you can see better. So I'm just sort of pulling that band, sort of a downward row, or down at a diagonal, or at an angle. So you can do that, and then you would just switch arms and do the other side. Keep everything even. You can pull down, straight down from a higher position, do a shoulder extension. you can do a tricep press. So the difference is now I'm just going to bend the elbow. So I bend and straighten the elbow. Straighten out, let the elbow bend. Straighten out. So now I'm isolating triceps. If I do the other one, I'm using shoulder and triceps. And the difference is my elbow is not moving. So you can do that. If I turn myself so that I'm perpendicular to the door, I can do a stiff arm. So I'm going to hold the handle or hold your piece of band like this. I'm going to move my arm down at a diagonal, like I'm pushing the air away or I'm giving someone a stiff arm. You could also call it a one-handled axe chop. So I'm just kind of swinging down and away. Again, kind of keeping the shoulder blade down and back. And you would do that on both sides. So you'd switch sides to do the other one. Okay. You can do an overhead pull down as well. So if this arm is doing the stiff arm, where I'm pushing down away, this one's going to do the, we call it the put the sword away. But it's also could be a one-handed axe chop from above. So I'm holding my arm up like this and pulling down towards the opposite side. So I'm pulling down at that diagonal, pulling down like that. And again, you would do that on both sides. So my body's perpendicular to the door, and I'm pulling down at a diagonal towards the floor. You can turn, face the camera. I'm going to do some punches. So I always stagger my feet a little bit, makes it easier. My opposite foot is in front. Then I'm just going to press forward or punch forward. And you switch, do the other one. Okay. So lots of different things you can do with that. One thing you can do too with some of these diagonals, if you want, if you don't want to use the handle, you could try just strapping these straps onto your wrist. So again, I'm going to put this through the ring like that. And I'm just going to pull it till it tightens. Get the excess out of the way a little bit. And then you can just kind of pull down. It isolates your arm a little bit differently. You're working more of the shoulder with this than you were when you're gripping as well. So you get a little different feel with it. So some different things you can do. I'm going to remove this. So if you can put them above, you can certainly put them down below. So I'm going to show you that next. So I'm going to take my knot, or take my handle, and I'm going to slide it down here underneath the door. And I'm going to shut the door. Most doors, indoor doors, should have enough of a gap. You're not going to have a problem with this. I'm going to put my handle back on for a second. So in this position, you can do one arm doing an uppercut punch across your body. And the other one, I'm going to loosen the band up a little bit. The other one can do up high, kind of the same diagonal. So you're really reaching, this one's the hardest one, or the hardest diagonal. You're really squeezing that shoulder blade in the back. Really reaching up at that diagonal. Okay? So there's that. You can do that with both arms too, and kind of press upward. I like to sometimes do these with a movement or lunge too. You can lunge out and press up, and come back. Down here we can get your legs involved a little bit. So I'm I'm going to put my strap back on here. I'm going to get down here. Make sure you're careful with this. If your balance is a little off, this may not be something you want to do. So I'm going to clip the band onto my leg now. So I have the band attached to my leg. So now you can do the multi-directional hip. So I can kick straight out. I can turn, kick straight back. You just keep doing 1/4 turns until you get all 4 of them. I can pull across. So I'm just kind of going across in front of my foot a little bit. Again, if your balance is off, this may not be the best one to do. And then straight forward. You can also do stuff like sort of lunges with resistance. So I still have it on my foot, and I can take a big lunge out and then nice and controlled back. Don't let the band pull you. So you get a little bit of resistance with that instead of just doing a typical straight lunge without any resistance. Adds a little bit more than just your body weight. So you can see there's kind of lots of different things that you can do with this. These kits are really nice. And same with the TheraBands. And one thing too, if anyone in their house has some other, maybe like a banister on an open stairwell with some spindles in it, you can take this and you could wrap it around your spindles, and you could use this as an attachment point as well. So you have that wrapped around something. It could be spindles. Sometimes you can take garage hooks or coat hooks. If they have an actual hook on them, you can put them lower, middle, and higher on the wall. And then same thing, you can attach this to them, or put one of your handles on the hook if it'll hold, and then you got your ring. So there's different ways to set these up, which is really, really nice, really convenient. So that's basically that. That should help everyone kind of have an idea. And a lot of times when we're training and using these, it's just sort of let your imagination kind of create things, sort of knowing what you're trying to know or what you're trying to strengthen. If you're trying to pull up, try to attach it lower. If you're trying to pull down, just try to attach it higher. Try to keep it simple with the door. You're either above, below, or you're in the middle. So that's everything. I hope this helps everybody. Everybody stay well and stay safe. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to contact the office for any questions or appointments. And we'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye-bye.